Welcome back to yours truly, the one and only. You guys know who it is. And I got a quick little story time. Hopefully, this is quick because there's a lot of details that go into it. But just pretty much the overall theme is just that myself and another DJ got booked to perform at the same event. And, eventually the people that I guess were running the event figured out that, look, we double booked. And I was the one that got sent home because payment wasn't completed fully on my end. They had did the deposit, but didn't pay off the full payment. So, yeah, but we'll get into all the details right now. So I got booked to this event, about a month and a half out away from the start time and start date. Um, Pretty much received the details, the address, what it was like, what type of event it was, and I sent over the contract, which did not get signed, but the deposit did get paid. So that's why I, held their spot for them because I get it. If you spend your hard-earned money to guarantee them going to be there, then I want to show up so that the event is going to be exactly what it's supposed to be. I know nothing is worse than you putting down a deposit and then the person that you booked doesn't show up. It's like, one, is going to look bad on my end, but also just for them, I think on my client's end, it's like that would ruin an event pretty quickly. So fast forward, we're about a week and a half out, maybe a week out, reaching out to them, just basically asking, is there any, requests musically, equipment wise, like do specific artists that you want to hear, specific songs you do not want to hear? Do you need lighting? Do you need certain wireless microphones? I have lapel mics, I have handheld mics, whatever you need, and they just respond, confirming the stuff that they do want, stuff that they don't want, and so on, and boom, we move forward. So we're now like 2, 3 days out, just trying to make sure like there's any last minute things that I need to go over and check, just making sure I'm always on point. And they say no, and we confirm that we're gonna rock out come the day of the event, and when I should be there as well. Now it is not the day of; this is the morning of the day or the day of the event. And I reach out one last time just to ask, is it gonna be outdoors or indoors, so then I know if I need to bring a tent or not. So then I can make sure my equipment isn't out in the sun. And they respond basically like, "Hey, we're gonna be inside. You're all good to go." Da 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 da. So I arrived to the venue, and there's a lot of different steps where I could have been told that there was a double booking, and that's what I'm about to get into now. So I'll pretty much roll the video of when I arrived, but pretty much before on video, there was somebody helping them set up, and I had asked like, "Hey, I'm the DJ. What's the fastest way to load in and out?" And they had told me that it was this way, and I'm not sure if they knew that there was already a DJ in there or not, but if they did, it would have been definitely helpful if they could at least been like, "Hey, if you're the DJ, we already have one in there, maybe you should go in there and talk and discuss and figure out what's going on." But they didn't. So I'm gonna roll the clip of me like literally setting up, just so you can see how much work and time it took me to literally get all my equipment just in there, not even set up, just to get my equipment in there. So roll that clip. All right, so next we'll grab the cart. So I have two carts. I have the like a roller dolly one for my speakers, and this big one just holds like my booth, my board, all the little miscellaneous shit. Appreciate that, boss. Okay, so now we're at the elevator. And when we get to the elevator, I actually have this on video, but I'm not gonna put obviously no one's face or voice or anything like that out there. But we get to the elevator, and I actually see the person that booked me, my client that personally booked me and reached out to me in the elevator, and never mentioned about a double booking or it being two DJs. So I'm, just playing it cool. Just in my mind, I'm thinking like, hey, I'm ready to set up, rock the show, and let's get to it. So I eventually wheel my carts into the room, and I see that there's another DJ. And immediately I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, maybe it was an event in here before and they're trying to break down all this stuff, because there are other people in there that look like they're breaking down stuff. So I'm like, okay, they're probably breaking down as we're getting ready to set up. It happens. So as I'm setting up, which I'll play a video after this, I see the other DJ setting up. So I'm like, huh, this is weird. So eventually, someone else, not the client that booked me, someone else clarified, like, hey, we double book DJs. We'll just have one of you guys open, one of you guys close, or y'all can figure out how y'all want to do it throughout the event. Just make sure it's all good. So I'm like, okay, boom, smooth. So I'm setting up, and then I'll pretty much roll the clip and I'll explain what's going on in the clip. All right, so at this point, I'm now setting up. As you can see, I have my Pro X booth up. I just plugged in the power to my Furman power conditioner. They're running all electricity to speakers, wireless microphone transmitter, all that stuff. I even get the speaker on the tripod stand. And then towards the end, you're gonna see the lady come up to me, pretty much explaining like, "Hey, we double booked, right?" So this is like the breakdown of shame is pretty much what I called it. So I'm literally taking down everything that I just set up, which are like kind of embarrassing because it was just like everybody was watching me having to do this. But like I said, it happens, and you just kind of gotta roll with the punches sometimes, especially as a vendor that provides musical services at a lot of different events for a lot of different clients. But we kept it respectful, got in and out of there, peace and quiet, didn't make any complaints. So now we can go. So now we can go over, I guess, like why I was frustrated. So obviously, one being that like it took them forever to tell me that there was another DJ. You know, um, I could have been told that the few days before when I was reaching out trying to make sure everything was good. I could have been told that morning when I reached out about like do I need a tent or not. I could have been told when I arrived and there was someone walking in with the balloons. I could have been told in the elevator, and in the last least, like if it was the latest it could be, I could have been told when I literally pulled my carts into the room and they seen I had like three speakers, and I'm sure I look like a DJ. My shirt says DJ Dash on it. So but yeah, it was so many different times they could have told me that like, hey, we double booked. I'm sorry, we don't need you anymore, and stuff like that. The second frustrating part is like I didn't get an apology or like sorry for the inconvenience or anything like that. It was more so just like literally, I'm sure I said this in the rolling of the clip, but like it was just more so like hey, we have two DJs, we didn't pay you fully and we paid that person fully, so it's up to you if you want to stay or not. And I was just like, damn. But of course, as a vendor and as someone that has a business, especially, a business owner, you got to play it cool. And, I just responded like, I get it. I perfectly understand. It happens, sometimes, you're so, trying to get the event to make sure it's perfect and you're trying to check off all the boxes and you put two checks in one box and, it happens. So I just packed all my stuff up and rolled out and then just said, hey, it is what it is, and just kept it pushing. But let me know what you guys think about this whole story in the comments below. Let me know if, even if you're not a DJ, if you're a vendor or you do anything in terms of events or working stuff where you got to travel and stuff like that, has ever happened to you. I doubt it because it's a very unique situation, but just wanted to share it because it's always good to hear the good and the bad because it's all a part of it when you're owning your own business. But yours truly, stay tuned for more content.